Boom, Monday Night Showdown. Here we go. Taryn finally gets to talk about something he knows about. Some
Yeah.
good old Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears. We got BDN versus uh, DC and the Vikes. Um, yeah, I mean, this one's going to be, I don't really know. I
Yeah.
mean,
Tough
I think
tell. Yeah.
I think it'll be, I think Vikings will win, but is it going to be high scoring, low scoring, blowout? I don't really know. So, yeah, what do you got for notes on game day here?
Well, Vikings are hot here. Two good wins back to back. Well, on the back of one player on their team, but they are still absolutely horrible on defense. I mean, the linebackers and the D lines actually playing quite well in Vikings land. The Bears defense still playing quite well. They're coming off a. Did they lose? Yeah, they lost to the Titans last week. Their offense looked terrible against the Titans. They had not much going on. The receivers really picked up at the end of the game versus the beginning. Like the first half's offense was very, very low for the Bears. The Vikings are running through one man and one man only, and that's Dalvin Cook. He is absolutely a beast mode right now. In beast mode right now. Like if you watch the games, like watch Todd Gurley the other week run and then watch Dalvin Cook run. Dalvin just looks electric. He is flying through the holes. He looks explosive, and then you look at Gurley and he looks like he's running in quicksand halfway around the field. So I just think you lead with Dalvin Cook at captain. If you're going to take a Viking, take Dalvin Cook or Justin Jefferson, in my opinion. This is a game where the Bears defense is quite good all around, and so you have to kind of look that if they play to shut down Dalvin Cook, you might see a Jefferson game. I mean, if you want to be a little different, I think Thielen will be the lowest owned of the bunch, and both will play well in this kind of matchup if it leads to passing. I don't like Cousins ever, so often I don't put him in lineups, but I do like Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, specifically at captain, and then mixing in some Thielen, and then Irv Smith on the other side had one of the most efficient scoring lines last week. Two receptions on two targets for 10 yards and two touchdowns. Like it's just kind of a weird scenario where he got it out of the run. They were intent was to run Dalvin Cook, but they played it off the play action to Irv Smith, who's always going to be in blocking on those plays. So it worked out really good for him in that game. This is a different animal for the Vikings. They've had 2 weak defenses against the run past 2 weeks. Now, if we go to the Bears side of the ball, I like their passing game more than I like their running back, although the running back's getting a ton of use. David Montgomery is seeing 20 to 25 touches a game, but he's not very efficient with those touches. So I don't love him, but you can mix him in a little bit. At captain, you could probably play Allen Robinson. He won't have any tough matchups. You got Gladney. I don't think Dantzler will be back, but the corners in Minnesota aren't good. And there's 2 rookies that are growing into their kind of position. So A-Rob should dominate that. And I really like Darnell Mooney. He's been a play for me the last 2 to 3 weeks. He's the clear number 2, but he's getting close to number 1 targets. Like he's got 11, 10, and he sees all the deep balls, but Foles just keeps missing him. He's wide open half the time, and Foles is just airmailing him by 10 yards. There was a really good Instagram video on that. But overall, if you want cheap options, probably go to Irv Smith or Calvin or Rudolph. And then on the other side, you can look to maybe Jimmy Graham or even that other tight end if he's back. Cole Kmet, I think is his name. Another good play there. But overall, and I think some other running back came into play, maybe Ryan Nall. I
Yeah,
think
that's
he
his
plays
name.
for the Bears.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think they might start to mix in a second running back there, and he's more of a pass catcher if I'm not mistaken. So that could be a play because I think David Montgomery's proved that he's just not good enough to be a lead running back. So check those options. But I'm pretty high on the Vikings right now. 2 wins in a row. We're running for that extended playoff spot, but it's pretty low likelihood at this point. But keep going for it. But what do you think in this game?
I'm more or less on your side. I had 3 core players that I was probably going to build my lineups around. That was Dalvin Cook, obviously, because you cannot not have him at this point. I had Thielen, though. Um, Unlike Jefferson, obviously, they're both probably going to be safe picks. I just personally like Thielen better. And then Jimmy Graham. He's been kind of like all the other tight ends where they're all putting up consistent. No one's really like, you get the odd one who's breaking out and putting up over 20 points, but for the most part, they're all putting up, 12 to 16 points per week. And so that was kind of going to be the core of my lineups. The rest, I mean, you mix in your scenarios to see what your game script's going to be like. I think this one's going to have more offensive upside than downside. However, I think there is going to be, I don't know which side yet. I'm going to have to look into it a bit more, but I still think playing a defense in this one could pay off. I mean, whether you're playing the Vikings or the Bears, I feel like you could get one pick six in there and it would be better than your cheaper option.
And with good defenses, kickers are always in play too, because you might have good enough offense where the offensive guy should be your captain, but they may not get in the end zone a lot because of the defenses being strong. And that is one area that the Vikings have been pretty good, is in the red zone, but it really doesn't. I guess you can go either way with kickers or defenses. It's
yeah, and this is where it comes in. Depends on the type of fantasy player you are. Me personally, I play a ton of cheap options, like in terms of I'll play 5-6 lineups and, for $1 here, $1 there, whatever it may be. I know some people like to go all in and make their one lineup for the $20 or the $10 showdowns. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Again, the game script to me is still a little bit up in the air. I think it'll be higher scoring. As they would say in Barstool, the overs club, baby. I don't do any of that overs and unders, but it sounds funny. Yeah, sweet. Thanks for watching. If you're watching the Monday Nighter ones, these ones have been slow, so we appreciate it. And maybe check out our Thursday one, because our Thursday ones seem to be popping. Go Texans, because they could beat the Vikings. And that'll be my little flair to you to be like, hey, the Vikings are okay. Yeah.